Joining us now, Tina Freitas. Tina, candidate, state senate against Emmet Hanger in her district. That's Culpeper, Shenandoah Valley, District 24, I believe it is, Tina. And I'm doing this from memory. Big upset brewing. Emmet Hanger has been there since, I think, William Taft was president or something. Been there for about 100 years. Just time for change. Tina's going to go there. She's going to shake things up, get things done. We don't agree on every single issue, but here's what we do agree on. You need change. You need younger people. You need energy. You need new blood. You need new ideas. And Tina brings all that to the table. Plus, she's a fighter, and she'll talk to constituents. It's time to disrupt the elite, entrenched incumbents running around Richmond that don't do anything but worry about what committees they serve on. And Tina's going to be the great disruptor there. And we're predicting she wins in an upset victory. I'm about the only person predicting that. Tina Freitas, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, John. It's good to be on.
I'm fired up about your campaign. You got a lot of energy. You're knocking on doors. What are people saying?
Well, we're seeing some really great results. I mean, I will say this much. I do believe that Emmet is spending his entire war chest on this week trying to make sure that he's on the air, that he's on TV, he's sending out mailers, and I don't blame him. He's in trouble. But, they do opposition research on folks, and when they can't find anything, because I don't even have a speeding ticket on my record, what do? They start throwing everything they can at the wall and making up fake news just like any other liberal. And so that's what's going on. People are getting hit in the mailbox and on TV, hearing things about me that are simply not true, or they're completely misconstrued. And I think that he's a bit upset that I'm bringing him face to face with his voting record and making sure people actually know what the truth is. Every single thing I've brought up can be fact-checked on the state website. He voted the way I'm saying he voted. Even if he's trying to pull the wool over folks' eyes, I believe people will not be deceived this time.
We're going to see, right? I mean, it's only a couple of days. I know you've worked hard. You've got a great ground game. Your campaign is grassroots. But look, Emmet Hanger's got a lot of money. He's been there forever. He's got a lot of lobbyist money. And he's going to empty his war chest because this probably is his last hurrah. And, it's just part of the way politics is. But money doesn't buy love. And there's a lot of candidates that have won in firehouse primaries and other things that have been outspent 5, 10, 15 to 1. I mean, we backed Chris Runyon in Southwest Virginia in a firehouse primary there. I think his opponent outspent him 8 or 9 to 1. He was still able to win. So look, voters are not dumb. They're going to come out. They're going to vote for, I think, a change in your district. And I think you're going to be winning on Tuesday night. Tina, let's get to Governor Northam's special session request. The blood not even mopped up off the floor in Virginia Beach. We've got people in ICU, victims of the shooting, that are still fighting for their life right now. We don't even know the assailant's objectives. We don't know enough about him. There's not enough research been done. It's still under investigation. The email he sent just got released the other day. And yet the governor seems to be exploiting it for political reasons. And now we've got a special session gun grab. What do you think of this?
I think this is a ploy because he knows that, the election season's coming up in November, and he's got to start, rattling cages and making sure that people look at anything but his own scandals. And I think it's disgusting, but I do believe that he was happy to have something else to look at. And I know that sounds horrible and heartless, but it is horrible and heartless to politicize a tragedy like this that is probably stemmed from mental health issues and other issues like that. When folks intend to do harm, they will use whatever mechanism they can find. I mean, we can see it with, Britain is now confiscating kitchen knives. People will use whatever is available to them, and the ultimate problem is that we've told people that they are an accident of nature. People are being told that there is no inherent value in human beings anymore. And, let's not be surprised when they actually believe it.
Tina, if you were in the state Senate right now, your majority leader, Tommy Norman, put a pretty scathing statement out the other day blasting this special session. If you were in the state Senate right now and Ralph Northam called for this as he did, What would be your response back to the governor? What would you tell the governor as a state senator representing your district?
Well, first of all, I would take it very, very seriously that, anybody who's called into a special session does need to go and make the voice of their district heard there. And, I would do exactly that. I would go and I would stand firm on what I ran on, which is no infringement on the Second Amendment, because I believe in your right to protect yourself and your family and your property. Look, these shootings constantly happen at gun-free zones. They are always in areas where no law-abiding citizens are armed because they actually follow the laws. And I'm not sure why the left does not recognize the correlation here. You pass more laws, and criminals don't care about the laws. If they are intent on harm, that is what they plan to do. They're not going to go and, go through a bunch of government hoops in order to, make sure they have followed the law on the way to breaking the law. Do you understand that it's a ridiculous notion that disarming law-abiding citizens is going to have any effect whatsoever on people who snap and have mental health issues and decide that they're going to do harm to a lot of people. So, I will vote that way, but I would definitely take it very seriously. When the governor calls, a session, I would do it. It's just he's not going to like the answers I'm giving.
We're with Tina Freitas. She's challenging Emmet Hanger for the Republican nomination in the 24th District in Virginia. That's part of Culpeper, Rockingham, Augusta, Greene County, kind of the valley out there. It's a pretty long district out in that area of Virginia. And it's going to be a very close race. It'll be decided in a state-run primary, the old-fashioned way, the way it should be, not one of these ridiculous conventions. And that'll be decided on June 11th, on Tuesday coming up. And we're predicting that Tina pulls the upset there. And it's going to be an upset. It's going to make national news. Tina, let me just ask you this. Well, one of the things that the governor proposed is that why don't we ban silencers? Like, why do you need a silencer or a suppressor for your gun? We understand that a lot of gun rights people like myself believe it's not only to hunt, but even though I don't hunt, it's to protect my family. And it's also to have arms against a tyrannical government, right? Everybody that is in the gun rights movement like me understands that. They know what that means. But he's saying, look, even if you're protecting yourself, why do you need a suppressor? How do you respond to that? Because I think it might be onto something. I don't need a suppressor, right? If I want to protect myself, I don't care how loud the bang is. A lot of people say the only reason you have a suppressor is so people can't find you when you're firing. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, a suppressor on a 45 is not masking a whole lot of sound at all. And anybody who thinks that it is has no idea what they're talking about. I'm so sick of people that have no idea what they're talking about with guns and, how loud they are, what a semi-automatic is, all these things. This is just ridiculous. We're getting off on these little things here and there when you and I both know what the goal really is. And Cory Booker said it. He said that any American who refuses to give up their guns deserves to be thrown in jail. That's what he said. They need to go to prison. And we know what the left is really after, and that's why we push back every single time against little infringements here and there, because when the Second Amendment was written, it was definitely not for hunting. And if you think it's for duck hunting, you need to go back and read your Constitution again. Look, our country came out of a tyrannical government and said, never again will we let that happen. And we recognize that the value of human life, and because we recognize that, we recognize your right to defend your life, your family's life, and the property that you own. Now, here's the thing, is that the left is going to keep on trying to chip away at these, it's just a little here and just a little there, and this sounds pretty reasonable, and that sounds pretty reasonable. But I'm sorry, you're not getting an inch, not an inch from me. And that's it. That's where I stand.
Even though you just kind of have the opinion I have that suppressors really don't matter one way or the other, you believe that banning those would lead to just incrementalism.
Well, let's look at every single gun law on the books. a good indication of what has happened in history, will tell you what's going to happen in the future. Ultimately, the left wants to disarm our citizens. That's exactly what Venezuela did, right? Mm-hmm. And now they're running their people over in streets with tanks. Mm-hmm. This is, I'm sorry, but if you think it cannot come here, you are naive. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at on it.
John Fredericks Radio Network. We're with Tina Freitas. She's running for State Senate Republican primary against Emmet Hanger. That'll be decided Tuesday, June 11th. Emmet Hanger, Republican, represents the 24th district, and that is a Republican district. Whoever wins that primary is going to serve in the state Senate come 2020, and that could be tied at 2020 also. So it's going to be very, very close. You never know what's going to happen. Let me get your thoughts on this, Tina. Another person, I can't even say this with a straight face, but I tweeted out, I just had to ask you about this. Another person who's running for state Senate in the Democratic primary in Northern Virginia against Dick Saslaw, the minority leader, could be the majority leader if they win one seat that they don't have, and Fairfax is going to break the tie. Yasmin Taib is running against Dick Saslaw in Northern Virginia. And this is not fake news, and I'm not making it up. So she endorses disarming Virginia cops. That's her platform. And she fills out a form that's online. Are you in favor of disarming police? And her response is, yes, I want to disarm cops. So I guess if there's an assailant, you're in trouble. I guess cops will blow a whistle or throw cupcakes at them. If you get to the state Senate, some of these people that are going to win on the Democratic side is what you're going to have to deal with. How are we going to navigate your way through people like, not saying she'll win, Yasmin Taib, who actually believes cops there to protect and serve should be disarmed? Where are the Democrats headed with this stuff?
They're headed toward full confiscation. They want the full implementation of socialism in our country. We know that's what the goal is, and everybody who's watching knows that's the goal, and that's one of the reasons we have got to fight tooth and nail to preserve individual human freedom in our country. That's what we're founded on. It's what we need to stay with. Our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence are incredible. The only time we've had dark times in our history is when we've deviated from it. And so I really believe that we have got to preserve it. We have got to hold on to it, and we've got to teach it to our children because, yes, the left is after it. They have this deep-seated hatred of our system. They want to fundamentally change it, just like Obama said. And so, no, we should just not be surprised. But really, we need to not be silent. We need to stand up, and we need to fight back. This idea that we've got to be somehow ashamed of being conservatives, of being Republicans, of caring about liberty. Since when is individual human freedom something not to be proud of? I don't understand the mentality of the left. And so, when they say something insane like that, John, it deserves to be mocked. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I like that approach. That's why we have enthusiastically endorsed Tina Freitas for U.S. Senate in the June 11th primary. Again, Tina, you and I don't agree on every single issue. I'm not a single issue guy, as you know. We don't accept immigration. I want to close the borders.
Around, John.
I want to control the borders. Other than that, look, we don't have to agree on everything. Here's the bottom line. If you go to Richmond, you're going to disrupt the status quo. And that's what we need. We need younger, energetic people to ask questions and not be beholden to the downtown Richmond lobbyists and to the elite establishment. That's what you're going to get in Tina Freitas. Everything she does, you might not agree with, but she's going to do it from the heart, and she's going to do it with vigor, and she's going to shake things up, and that's what you need. You need people like Tina in there shaking things up so we can get things done. Tina, thanks for being with us. Good luck on Tuesday. Are you predicting the victory? I am.
I'm feeling really confident. I'm at the doors every single day, and my results look excellent. I'm really excited. I can't wait.
All right, Tina Freitas, thanks for being with us. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network.